All right, we're live on StreamYard. And we're live on YouTube, it looks like. I believe. Yes, we are. So there we go. Yep. Okay. All right. Welcome to Rick's Life as I See It. Here on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. in the goddamn freezing cold. I'm trying to look here. It's 20 degrees outside, so it says, but it says feels like 11. So that's damn cold. And by tomorrow morning, it's going to be down into single digits. Jesus Christ! Mind you, I haven't started my car for a week. It's buried under snow right now. Unfortunately, the road guy, the town county guy who plowed the road, you know what they're like. They buried me, in snow. So I thought, you bastards. But I'll get in there and I'll get out. I'll put it in 4-wheel drive and just plow my way through the snow. That's Raphael. 48 in Tampa. Damn, that's cold for Tampa, ain't it? It's meant to be getting even colder down there next week, according to the forecast. You're meant to get freezing goddamn weather like us, Ralph. Or Raph, I should say Raphael. So, anyway, I'm just rambling on as usual here. But I made it through the no power outage either. So the only thing I'm dreading is my since I'm on all electric, my heating bill. Oh God, because that thermostat or the furnace has been, it run for 5 minutes, switch off, then goddamn 10 minutes later it's clicked back on because the temperature's dropped already. It's ugh. Luckily I still got a couple of months to pay a little bit extra on every month, hopefully, because I use the budget plan here in Indiana, my electric company. But March, is it March or April? I think it might be April, is what they call makeup month. Whatever they set that I got to pay every month, if my bill has gone over that estimate, I got to pay the difference off in that month. So it can get kind of expensive. So that's about all that's happening. And I'm trying to think what else is happening here. Nothing. Oh, my car's still not fixed. But then again, the last week it's been goddamn cold. But he did contact me, my cousin, and said, I haven't forgotten about you. He said, we dragged the blazer they've got in the scrap pile. They said we pulled it up here. We just got to take off the steering pump. And he goes, to be honest with you, it's so goddamn cold. He said, I haven't done it yet. And I said, well, I've got your payment here. Because I still haven't made my payment yet. But I did say, I said, I've got it here. I said, if your son is okay with this, I'm fine too. But if he wants it, I will meet you somewhere and give it to you. But he said, no, we're good. So I dropped him a message today. I ain't never heard back from him. And I said, I know you can't, I know you don't want to do it now in the snow. I said, I understand that. But I said, look on the bright side. I said, when you do get to it, you'll be getting 2 payments. Last month and this month. So, and actually, then that will make me, that'd be what? Boom, boom, boom. That's, I only have 2 more payments to go and it'll be all paid for. So, that's looking good. So that's where I'm at. Oh, you're a bit of a mechanic. I told you the heat in the thing wasn't that great. Well, I got no heat in it now. It blows cold air. Not AC cold air, but just cold air because nothing's heating up. Now I done some research, and the S10 Blazer, which mine is, it's notorious for having a blocked heater core, and the recommendation is to flush it out. But first, I want to check first because both hoses going into the firewall, because the heater core sits behind that, should be warm, because you got hot water going in and hot water should be coming out. So if one's hot, one's cold, you definitely know it's blocked. That's what I read.
Has the vehicle been overheating or running hot?
Oh no, I mean, the temperature gauge has been right in the middle.
Okay, because I was going to say, a bad thermostat could be a problem. Heater cores are kind of known, especially if you don't change your antifreeze. A lot of people never flush their antifreeze.
I don't know how long it was.
Yeah, I know if it's an older vehicle like that, you can pull it and flush it. I mean, you can try leaving it in place. It's usually in the firewall where you can access it, or from the under the hood to try to blow through like compressed air or something. But honestly, they're usually, when they're bad like that, I'd recommend just replacing it too, honestly.
Replacing what?
The heater core itself, because
I mean,
flushing it is a job, and with your buddy, I mean, shit, it'll be summer before he tries to screw with that shit. Because
you mean my cousin?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to sit there for a while, back and forth, shoot some cleaner through, hit it with some air, back and forth, until you can eventually get a nice flow going through it. So, and it comes out like chunky, gray, and weird looking, scaly shit. So,
to change it, you have to pull out the whole dash.
I don't know on your vehicle.
Yes,
a lot of them.
I already looked into that.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know on your vehicle, so but a lot of them people say that, but I've never had to pull one to change them, but I haven't done it in every vehicle on the road either. So I'm sure some vehicles may be that way.
I saw a couple of videos where they've hacked into it and been able to do it without taking it out, but part of the dash has to come out because you can't get to the screws, the bolts, undo it.
Yep. A lot of times you might have to pull the glove box or whatever to get up, and it's a bitch. And, but I mean, that's different than the whole dash, though. That's typical.
Oh, yeah.
Like similar to like blower motors in some vehicles, whatnot. So that's not all that bad. It may seem bad because of the position you're in, but it's not all that bad. And heater cores are usually on an older vehicle fairly affordable. So.
Yeah.
I think the last one I bought for, I don't know what vehicle of mine was like $30 or something. It wasn't expensive. So brand new from the auto store.
Yeah. And the number 2 thing that could go wrong on them is that, what in the hell they call it? So an actuator that, that knob you pull.
Blend door actuator.
Yes. That's the second thing. And talking about to get to that, you can get through it by taking out the glove box and getting your hand up there and using a a ratchet with an adjustable head on it for because it's a very tight
Mhm.
angle. It can be done, you know. So I'm hoping the flush will work because
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with a flush. It's not convenient,
well,
especially if you're
hopefully
leaving it in.
my buddy, not my cousin, but the guy I hang out with and shoot with, he's mechanically
Mhm.
minded.
Yep.
He's done work. He used to work on my truck for me.
Yep.
Hopefully he'll help me. I
If
haven't
he's
really.
willing to do it, by all means. It's just if you're gonna pay somebody to do it, it'd be cheaper to pay me just to replace it, probably. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, than to flood because I can't tell you how much time it's gonna take. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
how many cans of spray I'm gonna need and all this shit. So I don't know. Where if it was to replace it, I can give you a time and price and an estimate that I don't have to change. So,
yeah,
but if it's
yeah,
a friend, you know what I mean. You guys hang out or whatever, and want to get out there and mess with it, go for it. By all means, go. It can be done. It's just not usually the most affordable way to go about it, unless you're doing it yourself.
yeah. But basically, once you've got it going and got it flowing, right? What the guy said at the end, he said, "What you want when it's flowing good and it's clear, basically clear water coming out." But he said, pour antifreeze in it and watch it go through. When it comes out the other hose, stop. He said, then you've got your 50-50 mix already in there. So when you put the hoses back on, you won't, it'll work better. He goes. So I'm going to give that a try. That's my plan anyway. Unless my friend says, "Oh, we'll take the heater core out," because he used to have a Blazer once upon a time, many many years ago. So he might have worked on his. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so that's where we're at. Anyway, let's move on. Anyway, let me. I haven't even introduced you to the chat yet. Jesus. All right. Let me introduce my panelist at the moment is New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right, Rick. Doing all right. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for joining us out there. I'll try to remember how your intro went and say, it's cold. It's cold, cold. So it's going to be cold for a couple weeks or at least another week. We're currently sitting at 7 degrees, feels like 3. Got about 14 inches of snow and thought I had an issue with my vehicle, but apparently I just had a bunch of snow and ice packed up in the rims and the undercarriage. So doing about 55 and the wheel felt like it wanted to shake out of my hand. So I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah,
Thankfully,
this snowpack.
yeah, I was thinking maybe a bearing, tie rod, I don't know,
Yeah.
wheel weight. Maybe the lady did something and didn't tell me, which she swore she didn't. So first step, took it to the car wash, sprayed it all out, and sure as shit, there was a bunch of stuff that I didn't even see when I was just kicking stuff out the car. And drives fine again on the highway. So got lucky.
I lied. I lied. I did. My car hasn't been sitting there for a week. Friday. Was it Friday? Or no, Saturday. Saturday. It was starting to snow, and my lady friend had to go to work, and she goes, "I don't trust driving my van." And I said, "No, you don't." She goes, "Will you drive me?" I said, "Yeah, I can." She goes, "Or I'll drive your car." I said, "Oh no, you won't."
Yeah, I'll drive.
I said, "I will stop what I'm doing and I will drive you." "Well, you mean you're gonna come pick me up?" I said, "I don't mind." I ain't letting her drive my vehicle ever again.
That's funny.
She totaled the last one. I ain't letting her. What I wanted to say to her, ain't no way in hell I haven't even paid for this one yet. You know?
Right? Yeah. Please let me put a scratch on it first. Shit.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so moving on. I don't know if you saw my thumbnail. I put on there Rick's life as I see it, and then small thing I said shooting with disabilities. I've added it onto my thumbnail like I used to do. So anyway, talking about shooting with disabilities, I'll start with that, then we can move on. But I was checking where was it? Oh yeah, I typed, now this is Google. Which now this surprised the shit out of me. They actually even answered me. Right? But I typed into Google, I said, what is the best rifle for people with disabilities? That's how I worded it. And it came back with the AR-15 rifle are lightweight and have less recoil than most shotguns, making them easier to control. Shotguns may be easier to load, but also have more recoil and often heavier. So that's what Google suggests. For somebody with disabilities is the AR-15 because it's lightweight and not a very big recoil, which is true. They're not that heavy, and the recoil ain't that bad on those things. Even with my bad arthritic shoulders, I can handle that. So, that was one thing. Then I was looking at what was the other thing here that. Oh yeah, I was looking at another thing is, I think the latest figure I got is 2022. I think, yeah, that that people with disabilities are victimized at higher rates than any other demographic. 83.3 per 1,000 people. Now, I didn't look at this. Now, whether this is true or not, because it says this is from the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's where they got the info from. So, I just thought that, and I've always said that before. That's why, as everybody knows, that's why I got into carrying myself in the first place, was because once I had my accident at work and my hip was gone and it needed replacing and everything else and the arthritis, and I was just thinking, this is not good. I always felt, I've said this before, I always felt, that whatever came along, I think I'll be able to handle it. But once I got hurt, I didn't realize how, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable, I just felt like
vulnerable.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah.
And
the numbers don't surprise me. I'd say those numbers really don't surprise me in the sense, I find it interesting that it's, the Department of Justice or whatever. I think that's probably better than, say, self-reporting, because some people may just assume, some people think the whole world's against them, and really it's usually them. But,
yeah.
So it's nice that there's actual some number statistic behind it. I'd state, I think that's fairly obvious. It's goes back to even little kids are in school or whatever. The pricks always try to pick on what's perceived to be the weakest people.
Yeah.
the easiest target in a sense. So it totally makes sense. And then you got to figure there's a lot of shit family members that probably abuse their relatives just to collect a check too. So um, I'm more than sure that happens. I don't want to get too much into that, but that stuff really pisses me off too. Because
Yeah.
you're their family. You're supposed to be looking out. You said you're going to look out, but yet you go blow their damn money and leave them to fend for themselves on the streets, and that's a big no to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
You know. Yeah.
but I do also find it interesting that Google's claiming AR-15 would be a rifle for disabled. So I'm assuming that's just a general term, disabled. But at the same time, it's kind of funny when you say, or when people say, like, the commies came up with a gun that a monkey could use, and apparently we came up with a gun that people with disabilities can use. So
Yeah.
two different ways of looking at it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I was looking at another website. Actually, this is from ammo.com. They had a thing on people with physical disabilities. It For a handgun, it recommends what I said last week, the one I've got. The Smith and Wesson EZ 380 or 9 mil. Because of the slide. But if you want to go for the revolver, they're recommending. Oh hell, where is it? I lost it. They're recommending the Ruger LCR. So there you go.
If you have good trigger pull, depending on your disability and stuff, and strength, I would state, because will state my lady tried one of those, and she basically needed two fingers to pull the trigger. It's a lot. If you're unfamiliar, it's a lot more pressure to, and get one of those working versus a striker fire or something like that. So
Yeah. Well,
just something to put out there. The average guy, it's not a problem, or even maybe the average gal, or whatever you want to say. But for some people, or if you've had any wrist injuries or whatever, it might be something to stay away from.
yeah. See, now
Try it
that's
before you buy it.
they must be getting a backhand from Ruger here, because it says, why choose the LCR? No slide to rack. Idea for users with limited hand strength or dexterity. Light and smooth trigger. Requires less strength and effort than most double action revolvers. Got a good grip, which is more comfortable for those with arthritis or weak hands. Simplicity, no safeties, levers, or complex mechanisms to manipulate while loading, maintaining, or firing, and available in multiple calibers. 22 LR, very low recoil. 38 special, mild recoil, but more stopping power. 9 mil. That's unusual for them to use that term, stopping power. 9 mil, moderate recoil, more stopping power than the 22. They're not saying it has more stopping power than the 38 special. Then the 357 mag, high recoil, but more stopping power. That's what those guns come in. So, but I like the see. You said it's hard to pull, but it says light and smooth trigger.
Yeah, yeah. No, we tried one at one of the not local, but in my circuit, the shops we go to. So, and I think the guy behind the counter was pointing it out towards her or whatever, because we were talking about it, and then handed it to her, and then he decided to be like the golf coach and come up and help her with her grip and shit. And I'm just standing there like, what the hell, but all in all, honestly, the tips the guy gave her, she said actually worked. So when we hit the range, she applied what he was saying and helped her out a little bit. So I don't know. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But I did kind of find it funny where I turn around, next thing you know, the guy's all leaning over and helping her grip, and I'm like, geez, I can't turn around for 2 damn minutes. Like,
making a move.
Right. Yeah, like, these damn guys around here, like what the hell? But thankfully it was just a tip on the gun, and basically it said she struggled pulling the trigger and had issues with that because I was considering picking one up, but I try to get stuff that is universal in the sense that she could also use because in most cases, if anything, I would like to think in all cases, anything serious comes up, I'm going to be the one dealing with it. But, I also would like her to have ability in case something happens to me. So, or maybe she's got to back me up. I don't know. There's whatever. I just like her to be able to use what I have laying around the house, basically.
Yeah. It also says here, like if you have, like if you're carrying, if you have, how did they word it? Let me have a look. Problems with balance. They said instead of carrying it on your, inside your waistband on your hip or stuff, they said use a shoulder holster. That way, you're not going to sort of like lose your balance reaching back at, to 3 or 4 o'clock to grab your firearm, which I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, because like when I wear my fishing vest, as I call it, that's basically, it's got a holster inside the inside pocket. So it's practically like a shoulder holster, So
if for some reason you prefer Smith and Wesson, I'm pretty sure they have a part of their bodyguard lineup, not the new 2.0 whatever, but I'm pretty sure they have, or they had a revolver, hammerless revolver with basically the similar setup or whatever. I'm sure you can get it in different calibers or whatnot, but the hammerless is also nice, which I believe the other one may be the LCR. I don't recall now, but basically, obviously, if it's in a purse, if it's in a coat, anything like that, it's easier to use in that sense that it's be more reliable and not jam up if you're, unloading from your pocket. So, which I would recommend that, if it is a female, you prefer on body carry versus off body, meaning a purse or something like that. That way you can't accidentally forget it there or it doesn't get snatched, things like that. Coat pocket would be a great place. So just my suggestion.
Yeah. Let's see. You're right. Yeah.
It goes for men too. If you got one of them little tech bags or something, I mean, that's a target. So people are snatching grabs. So the last thing you want to do, or set it down in the store for a second while you're looking at something, and the next thing you know, it's gone, or a bathroom or whatever. We forget shit once in a while. Some of us a lot more than others. So
yeah. That's always sort of worried me. Like if I ever had to use the bathroom when I'm out, basically, as I'm saying is, when you drop your pants, you leave it in the holster and let it clank on the floor, or do you pull it out and stick it on? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to make a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what
What are
I'm
you
saying is,
gonna
say
do?
you
Yeah.
stick it,
Yeah.
just say for argument's sake, you stick it on the tank while you're doing your taking care of business, right? Then you walk out and forget about it. That it's there. That's always been in the back of my mind. You know, so it's just that's the things you learn though. You do what you got to do. Let's put it that way. So. Anyway, have you guys got anything else you want to discuss on this segment of shooting with disabilities? We can move on. I said I was just going to do segments at a time, so I thought that would work for this week. So there we go. But my next topic is the one that everybody's talking about. But this is kind of what the gun snob said. I'm only here to see what Rick has to gripe about. Well, let me tell you, my brother, the one who lives in Russia, right? How great it. I mean, the other day, because of the second shooting in Minnesota, the guy with the gun carrier, licensed gun carrier, whatever, right? The first line was, and he sent it to me at 3 o'clock in the goddamn morning, my time. So I mean, it was later over there than that in Russia. But they about 8 hours difference or something like that. Anyway, he goes, I don't think I'll ever step foot in the United States again. So that was the first line of his little thing. He goes, he says, how does that make you feel? Do you still feel safe carrying your gun everywhere? I thought, what an asshole, So I wrote back to him. I said, yes, I still feel safe carrying my firearm, no problem. I said also, this was a few days ago now. I said, first off, I said, I not jumping to conclusions like all you people in the feelings brigade. I'll put that in capitals. I said, I'm waiting for all the information to come in. I said, you're going off a few videos, that's been put out by the media. I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's been put out by the media. But I think it was just today or yesterday I read that there is because I think it was Border Patrol that actually did it, not ICE, had body cams on. And they haven't shown those to anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying to my brother. I said, all the available information, I said, we haven't heard about any body cam film yet. I said, so I am not making any prejudgments like you people with feelings. I said it twice in the same paragraph, He pissed me off. He really did. I said, also, if this country's so bad, I said, you know it for a fact. I said, why are people lining up around American embassies and consulates trying to get goddamn visas to come over here? I've heard crickets, and that was about 3 days ago. Crickets from him. So I must have hit a nerve.
Good job, Rick. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have annoyed me if I seen a text like that at 3 a.m. because I've got family members like that too. That you only hear something when they got a dig to throw out or something about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's annoying for sure. So, but I think you did a decent job with it. So
yeah, I think also. I mean, I still find it hard that I know he lived in. I know he lived in England longer. Well, we lived in England the amount same of time, until
Yeah,
I moved.
you left and he didn't though.
He
Yeah.
did right, but
Yeah.
he's still like me. He's still, you know, our father was American.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
No, I mean, now I never did it, but he got dual citizenship. He actually would travel on a British passport. When he went to
Yeah.
Europe and stuff, I never did. I refused. Right? I would only travel around the world on an American passport. You know. But anyway,
You're first class, Rick. You're first class.
yeah. But I know I talk about England a lot, but you know, but my God, I think he's becoming a Russian. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't sit well with me.
Well, you got to
You know?
remember, people over there have been like bred to just obey, and they only
Yeah,
get fed certain parts of media. So, of course, every government's going to try to make things support their narrative and way of being. So, crazy Americans and guns, and now everybody's got a gun, and the cops are just shooting people for the hell of it now, and it's believable to some of these people.
oh yeah,
So
oh yeah. Now it. I mean, it's so. What I want to say to him, what are you going to do if you're walking around New York City? No, no, I know you don't live there, but you're from New York, right? I said, and some guy, pulls a gun on you to rob you, right? You're just going to let him fucking shoot you?
yeah,
It's,
maybe do it a little more realistic. What would you do if somebody from up the street broke in and thought they were going to have their way with your wife right in front of you? What would you do? You're just going to let them? You're going to stand back and call the police?
yeah. And by the time
Or something like
they
that.
get
Yeah.
there, you know, I know it
Oh yeah.
just,
Because I know you're not even supposed to defend yourself. You're supposed to just run out of your house if you can. So, but still, that leaves somebody in the house getting assaulted. So
yeah,
it's not I would have to ask excuse my language, but what type of fucking man is that? There's little kids that'll fight for their people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
yeah, yeah,
Even if you ain't gonna win, you better go down trying. God damn it! Like, I
yeah.
don't, I don't
That's the way I
understand
look at
that.
it. You know, if I go down, even though I'm carrying and I get my ass shot or beat or whatever, at least I've gone down trying.
You
It
can
just,
die with honor.
yeah, yeah,
There's no better way to go.
yeah. And I don't know, you're right. My brother has been brainwashed by all that bullshit. Living over there for all these years, now living in Russia for the last few years. I tell you, makes
Yeah.
me don't want, it's not, I want to say I don't have a brother at times. You know what I'm saying?
Until you need an organ.
So, yeah,
I
yeah,
will say it doesn't look good. I don't know if you want to get on it. It doesn't really look good, but I still, in the end, support ICE or Border Patrol. Not because I'm biased. I'm not just rooting for the police blindly or something, but from what I've seen, my opinion, from what I've seen, just again, my opinion, putting it out there, kind of looks like it was really just kind of a lack of communication between officers. The officer that disarmed him, I mean, I hear it's a SIG. Maybe when he disarmed him, the gun discharged, and that spooked the other guy that was already pulling his gun. I don't know. It looked like it was kind of a screw up from my perspective. I think and the optics aren't good on it, but from the shooter's point of view, if he knew he was armed and then could see that the gun's gone, and then all of a sudden there's a gunshot and the guy's moving his arm around, I would think, it's probably deemed legal. If that was you, I don't know. That's just my take on it. And I know I'm probably
yeah.
going to
Well,
get
if it
hate
was
on
me
it
or
and shit,
you,
but, you
if
know.
it, if it was
Well,
me
if
and
it was
you, we'd
me,
be
I
judging harder.
probably wouldn't have been in that situation, to be honest with you. Now, I will say it does look like the guy stepped back out to kind of help the lady that was about to get snatched up, that had already been pushed down, that should have stayed the hell back. But still, it's
But
the whole key is don't put yourself in a spot for a
yeah,
mistake to happen, in my opinion. It doesn't make it right, but shit is gonna happen. Nothing ever goes perfect every time, everywhere. So
yeah. It also looked
I
like
wouldn't
to me
call it an
though.
execution. I would maybe negligence or bad communication. Maybe it was a SIG that went off by itself when the guy removed it. I don't know. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's not,
I
you
mean, it
know,
doesn't look good. I'll be honest. It
no,
doesn't.
no, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look good, but still, it doesn't mean it was an execution job.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The way they're making it sound, and
and it
he
also they
was
had a
there
police.
armed with 2 extra magazines, like ready for war. Like, are you shitting me? Like, that's
Yeah,
like
now that
90% of
really pissed
concealed
me off.
carry people out there. Yeah.
By the
And
head
then
of the
Trump up
FBI.
there, I don't like the guns. I don't like the guns. Like, what the hell are you doing, Trump? Shut the hell up, man. Don't do this
Yeah,
stupid shit again. Don't do it
yeah,
again.
I know,
Like,
I know.
yo,
Pam
shut up.
Bondi and Patel. What's he doing carrying a gun to a, a peaceful protest? Because he's a fucking allowed to.
Shit, I've been to open carry protests, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And there
that's what
wasn't
I'm
no
saying.
problems like this. So I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah,
You have to check your handgun in to go into like Capitol building.
yeah, yeah. It's,
We went there with
I mean, that's not the issue. You know, I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know,
I
man.
mean, if they want to, I mean, right now, the way the most gun friendly administration and Department of Justice that's ever been, they sure are doing a fucking great job of pushing the 2A, the voter. I guess I'm one of them who my main concern is 2A, right? That am I a single um, thing true? Yeah, I guess 2A is the number one thing when I go to vote.
Well, 2A is not
And they're
just about
pushing me
you.
away by this
Yeah,
bullshit.
but 2A isn't just about you. It does include you, but it also includes the grandma next door or your
Yeah,
granddaughter and
yeah.
everybody else. It gives everybody the ability. So yeah, don't that pissed me off when I seen that from Trump. Like,
We're
God damn it.
yeah, because I was watching something the other day, right? I mean, as a voting block, the gun owners who vote this is one of the biggest voting blocks there is people in the 2A community. And and pushing us away is not helping it any with the midterms coming up. And when they come, if you push them away from the midterms, they might just. I mean, I'm saying is that a lot of 2A people are just going to sit out in the midterms and not even going to bother to vote. But there we go. But anyway, back to what I was saying. What I've seen, I know they haven't released the body cam footage. Now, either it shows something that we all don't know, or it shows that they did do it wrong. The way I look at it. But but at one point I saw the film I keep going back to is the video I keep going back to is when the Border Patrol pushed the woman down. He comes in to help her up, it looked like. Then the Border Patrol put his hands on him. To do what? I'm not sure, but it looked like he was resisting by pulling back. And of course, the next thing you know, they all start shooting at each other, So
but like with that lady, I mean, I don't know the audio. I can just go by video, but just like with that lady in the car, they tell you to go, 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 go. You want to sit there, talk shit, not go. And then when they're like, all right, we're done talking, get out of the car. Now you want to go. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And it's basically probably the same thing with this damn guy out there. I mean, I
yeah,
do give him credit for stepping up for the lady. I think a guy should do that, honestly. That lady personally, she might not have been worth stepping up for. That's my opinion. But just as a person to person, you know, yeah, I could see that. I could see stepping up, like,
yeah,
okay, maybe that's exactly what he was doing. But at that point, they're still dealing with it and they hit that switch. Now there's somebody's coming in or whatever.
yeah.
So
I mean, and it
now
looked
you're
like he
trying to
was
like
this
back
big.
off. Wait a minute,
Yeah,
and now it's too damn late because, they already felt they had cause to, had to deal with you to the point of that and already felt they had cause. So now it's too
yeah,
damn late. So,
yeah.
the,
That's what I
the whole
think too.
point, just don't get in that damn position. They tell you to go, get the hell out of the way. I got no problems with people recording shit or whatever. If it is just a regular guy down there recording shit, I don't know, but you know, uh,
Yeah,
you're just looking for trouble. You don't argue at the side of the road with a cop. You deal with it in court. You want to argue at the side of the road, bad shit happens.
yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. But you know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But damn, they need to.
Oh, the
What?
parents, man. The dad, apparently, the parents are on TV saying, we told them don't go down there. Like, if you go down there, stay out of the way of the officers and shit. And now, what do we see on TV everywhere? The guy getting killed. It's a damn shame he didn't listen to his goddamn parents. I'm not
Yeah,
saying parents are always right, but that's typical kid bullshit. They were like, yeah, we're not thrilled. At least stay out of it. And what's this guy doing? Jumping right in the middle of shit. So
yeah,
everybody smack shit out of your kids. Just give them a good smack.
yeah. I mean, as soon as and that's right. Everybody has the right to protest, to peacefully protest. But once somebody breaks the law, it ain't peaceful anymore. I'm sorry. That's the way I look at it. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know what the woman did to get pushed by the Border Patrol agent, you know, the one he went to help. But I tell you, I swear in that video I saw, the Border Patrol put his hands on him and I felt like he jerked back, like trying to get away from him. I mean, there was no video, there was no sound, so you don't know what was being said or yelled at each other. You know what I'm saying? But he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, and I don't have, and I've told my brother this too. I said I don't have a problem with people coming into this country, as long as they do it legally. You've heard me say it on here many times.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
feel the same.
that's back to what I said to him. The thousands of people around the world who are circling American embassies waiting in line to get a visa to come here. Right? As long as they do it the right way, I have no problem.
Yep.
Now, I mean, then see the
Within
goddamn.
reason. I'm going to put a cap on that because obviously, if it gets to the point where we just run out of room or, we don't have enough jobs for our own goddamn people, then we shouldn't let other people in. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself before you can care for others. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not saying we're at that point. We clean house with all the fraud and kick the illegal ones out now and get shit back in order. Probably wouldn't be a problem. So, But yeah, that's what this country is made out of is immigrants that came here to bust their ass, not come here to get on welfare.
And what gets me about these, the feeling brigade, who go, well, this country is, built on immigrants. Yeah, but if they had immigration like we do now, where people are, you had a passport and you were checked and everything else, right? They wouldn't have let so many in. there was no check on who was coming in, really, until they started. And then when was, I'm talking about like when they brought them all, when everybody was coming over in the 1800s.
Over to Ellis Island and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
so you had to go through a quarantine and, have a profession marked and, basic information. Yeah.
I mean,
and
before,
you weren't given free money either.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, back in the 1800s, talking about the southern border, you could ride your horse across the goddamn river back and forth all day long. Nobody there to stop you. That's what I'm saying is, so it wasn't like it is today where you have to, you got to have checks on the border. I'm sorry. You ain't a country if you don't.
So. Sure. And if you think about it, if you're a criminal anywhere in the world, where would you rather be a criminal? In some poor place where they'll chop your hand off, or in America where you can go to jail 5-6 times and they just keep giving you money.
I'd rather do it in America.
Yeah, makes total sense. Total sense.
Yeah.
Like,
even if you don't, even if they don't, even if you don't want to be in jail, they feed you 3 times a day.
Yeah. There's all types of programs, places to go to get free shit. People getting in trouble for attacking you when you try to rob them. I mean, why the hell wouldn't you want to go to America?
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's yeah. I know. My brother just pissed me off. God damn it, Stuart. Stu, eat at me now.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's become the feeling brigade. It's really upsetting. Oh, well, today you can spend $5 million and buy it instead. Oh, Vanessa. Oh, talking about the Trump visa, the gold visa. $5 million, you can get a visa to come to this country.
Yeah, I can see that if you're not tied to any terrorist stuff or anything like that. Because at least it's not you'll be bringing money with you. You know what I mean? So I can somewhat see that. And I'm all about helping even the poor people to an extent, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot to help somebody else. So there should be regulations on shit. More encouragement towards, I don't know, professions we need, things like this, decent people. But there should be some checks and balances there, I think, or else, we could get over flooded in a bunch of different ways to screw up the economy. Any sectors at effect, depending on what incentives are put out there and the flow that comes through. So, again, we shouldn't be paying out taxpayer money for people that haven't been put into the system legally. So that's my thing. I don't think you should be illegal, get a license and welfare and government grants and all this shit when, I can't even get a tax break and I'm legal. I've always been, you know what I mean? Like, I don't agree to all that shit. Fix my roads, straighten up the schools, make it so kids can read again. Shit like that.
I agree. But I want to go back to the goddamn Pam Bondi and what's his name? Cash Patel, right? I've seen a couple of YouTube channels saying, well, that isn't what he meant to say. It didn't come out right. He's fucking got speech writers and everything else. You mean to tell me that not one of them said, hold on a minute, I wouldn't go out there and say that? You know, it just pisses me off. Or the people who are supposedly helping him are part of the deep state and said, let him go fuck himself. With the, we want to alienate the Second Amendment away people from the MAGA crowd. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all planned that way. So isn't that what that new Veritas video? Did you see that one? Where they
I haven't.
They were interviewing, was it Democrat? I think. Anyway, they said that was the reason they let everybody in, because they want to change the voting base. We already knew that, but they actually got somebody to actually say it.
Yeah.
But,
it doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
So, damn, it's nearly 8 o'clock already. Jesus Christ. Time goes by when you're having fun. So,
well, I don't know. You've been bitching a lot tonight, so I don't know if that's fun or what.
I'm in a damn good mood right now. Maybe that's why I'm happy, because I've been bitching. I don't know. Yeah. So
sometimes you just gotta let it out.
When you get to my age, you don't worry about what people think about you. You just say it as it is. What have I got to lose? If I go to jail now, I got less time. I mean, if I went to jail, if I was in my 30s or 40s, I could spend another 40 years in jail. Right now, 15, 20 years max, and I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, throw me in jail. I don't know if that's the right attitude to have, but I think the older you get, the less you worry about, what people think about you. So, if I'm grouchy, I'm grouchy,
I'd agree to that. Become more secure in who you are as you grow, I think, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My birthday's coming up next week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and I'm just thinking how old I am. I'm still in the 60s, but it's damn close. So, see, I still don't feel I'm old yet. I mean, because I say this a lot to my friend. We're talking. I said, yeah, those goddamn old people. And she looks at me. She goes, you are one. I said, no, I'm not. Over 70 is old. When you get into your 70s, then you're old.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be a thing, because shit, I don't feel old either, or not as old as I am in a sense.
No, I don't. I mean, honestly, everybody knows. I've said it so many times how old I am, but I think it's next Saturday. I think not this Saturday, next Saturday. Yeah, it's my birthday, and I am going to be 69.
Yeah.
And I don't feel 69 at all. I really don't. I just feel hell, like I've always felt. Like I'm in my 30s, maybe 40s. I mean, my body tells me I'm old, the way I hurt and shit. But a lot of that's self-inflicted too. Look at me. I'm a big old boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get some more aches and pains, I think, for sure. After I do a roof or something, I'm a bit more sore. Sometimes at the end of the night, I stand up and I feel like an old man, hunched over and shit, going to bed after I do a roof.
I get up and I'm going, as I get myself out of the chair. But,
some coffee, ibuprofen, I'm good to go in the morning again.
Yeah, but my gray matter doesn't feel old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually, I think I'm smarter now than I was when I was in my 30s.
Well, you probably are.
You know, because I hated school growing up. I mean, I just done enough to get by. That was it. But after I left school, maybe another 5 or 6 years after school, you know, I started doing a lot of. I would read. I love reading. That's the only good thing school taught me was how to read. Right? I read. I read all kinds of shit. You know, and I learn that way. If something interests me, I'll research it to the death. You know, so there we go.
You know, what worries me, Rick, is I've been told several times that I outwork people half my age, and I see it myself. But you know, you just don't go around tooting your own horn all the time. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just think that that's pretty bad. Like something's going on with some
But
of our youth. I
that's the
think
work ethic of today is not like it was when you
something.
were
I
growing
don't
up.
know. Yeah, something. You know, people being late, people just doing as little as they got to do to get by, working on a paycheck. I call it. You know, where again, you know, I get paid by the job, so you know,
Yeah. Another
I could
thing that
screw
gets me is
around if I want to make minimum wage, or I can get it done and make a decent wage and potentially be on another job. So I don't know, but it's concerning in some cases because you know, a lot of people I've seen people come in, they look like little bodybuilders and shit, and halfway through the day they're dead. Like they, you know, like it's all looks nowadays. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know if you've heard of like look maxing and shit. There's a thing
yeah,
going on with that. Like it's all about looks, but nobody's got any damn heart or gusto. You know, like I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad. I'm sure it's not everybody. Don't put it like I'm. You know, but um, you know, do not be fooled by looks. That's all I'm saying out there. You know, don't. You might be selling yourself short, people, because us older generation, I think, got a little more heart and built up hardness to us than a lot of these younger ones do, from what I've seen.
yeah. And I've noticed about a lot of these younger ones and other people is like, oh, I ain't going into work today because I don't feel like it. Right? Don't realizing that they're putting their workload onto their work colleagues. You know,
Hmm.
they're not even worried about it. You know, it's like, oh
But,
well, I'll take 1 or 2 days off. You know, I worked with some guy. I mean, I don't think he worked 5 days because I'm on a 5 day week. You know, I don't think he worked 5 days ever in a row. You know, he always had a day off during the week. Might not be the same one, but he always had a day off.
yeah.
You know?
Now there is. I'll give you that. Yeah, there's definitely those people, I'd state. But what I will say in modern times is, you know, a lot of jobs aren't like the jobs that were available when we were. Well, not even not when you were growing up. Not me. Where pensions and you know they kept you and you could retire and all this shit. Nowadays, employers really don't give a shit. So that's a little something on people not caring as much, I
Yeah,
think.
I guess you're right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But still, it does suck when it does leave it on your partner or, you know, I don't know, not your partner, but like your work
Your work
people.
colleagues, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they have
I
to
mean,
carry.
you might not care about the company, but you should care about the single
Yeah,
mom, you know, going to get stuck doing a double. I
yeah,
mean, she might need the money, but, you know, they were supposed to do shit and you just want to go be lazy anyway. But there should be something for people here and there.
yeah,
But I'll give some
yeah.
leeway to that
Hey,
because, you know, nowadays jobs, from what it seems, most employers really don't give a shit about you. So everybody
yeah,
swears
yeah,
they do until they don't. So.
yeah. Yeah, but you're right. Back to the employee though is from. Hey, we're going down the beach today. Oh, okay, I'll be there. See ya. You know, don't blow off work and not even worry about it. You know, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. No.
Yeah, I think because mom and dad still pay for most of their stuff, even though they won't admit it. It's the same with everybody's like, oh, check out my new car. When really it's check out my new car payment, my new rental. I might own one day.
Yeah.
Or I just bought a house. Not I just took, 35 years of promise notes.
I didn't.
There's
I
a
mean,
difference.
I wouldn't even like. I used to hate calling out sick. My philosophy. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I would go to work sick, and if my boss
Get
sent me
that
home,
home.
it's okay.
Yep.
But they're not like that today. They're really
That
aren't.
way they can't hold it against you later. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, I don't know if that was the right way to be brought up, but that's the way I felt. Anyway, it's gone. It's almost 8:10. So I'm winding this up because I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten yet. So I'm debating whether to fire up the grill to throw some burgers on or cook them under the broiler in the house. I don't know.
Heck of a coincidence because I did burgers too tonight. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, frying pan burgers, but good seasoning.
Oh, I never thought. Yeah, I could do that too instead of going outside. It's damn cold out there.
It is America. You can use a frying pan for a burger.
Yeah. I know you don't have to stand out there.
It
doing your burger,
tastes better when you do it on the grill, but it is cold.
Yeah. Well, anyway, have you got any closing arguments, or anything you want to say?
No, just thanks for bearing with us, folks. As they say, you guys are real ones. Other than that, eat a salad, stay cool but not too cool. Don't take any shit, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, I appreciate it, and thanks everybody for hanging out. And I don't think we've done the last couple of weeks. I thought we've done pretty good. I've had some structure back again. That's what I'm working on. So if you guys got any topics you want to cover under the Shooting with Disabilities segment, drop me a line and we will work on it. So with that, I'm going to say good night. Oh, quiz. I forgot all about the quiz. The question. It's real easy. I got it from Google. All I want to know. Oh, man, where'd it go? Oh, damn. I lost my page. Oh, there it is. What I want to know is what the Mills bomb was. It was used by the British and Imperial forces during the First World War. The Mills bomb. I want to know what it was. That's it. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by Wednesday the 4th, I believe. Yep, which is next week for the drawing. So there we go. So with that, I want to say good night to everybody. I appreciate you all hanging around. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.